Welcome to Corbin's Coasters and More. I'm Corbin, bringing you this week's In the Loop, the weekly update on what's going on in the roller coaster world. So, I skipped last week, just a little vacation. Now I'm back and I'll have 3 videos this week, again like normal, maybe even a bonus. Today, as usual, I'll start with the news, then I'm going to answer some questions from Quora, a question and answer site I go to a lot. I'll leave a link to my profile on there so you can see all my questions and answers on there as well. I'm going to start with what I consider great news. Universal Orlando is no longer doing temperature checks. The director of Florida Department of Health said they were no longer necessary to follow the local regulations. They're also going to completely transition to 3 feet distancing instead of the current 6 feet, also by Florida DOH suggestions. And the single rider lines are officially opening back up. Still masks required, but this is such a huge step forward. Over at SeaWorld Orlando, the Seven Seas Festival has come to an end, but they just announced that they will be having the Viva la Musica Festival May 15th and 16th and 22nd and 23rd. This 2-weekend event will have DJs, live bachata, salsa, reggaeton, as well as Latina foods and local artisans. Nationwide, SeaWorld and Busch Gardens are again offering free tickets for current and retired military, as well as for veterans, for themselves and 3 friends or family. Just call them to reserve. The most exciting news to me, though, is that I will probably get to ride a new coaster today. Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure has officially soft opened, and I cannot wait to go. The lines have generally been under 90 minutes too. Super excited for this. This is what might be that bonus video. Cannot wait for Velocicoaster. Can't state it enough. Now for some questions and answers that have been requested from some users on Quora. Brent Hobbs asks, what's the point in making reservations to Disney or Universal during this time of COVID-19? You either have COVID-19 or you don't. Reservations won't make a difference? Okay, so there are a couple of reasons why theme parks need reservations nowadays. The most obvious being park attendance limitations. Specifically for the state of Florida, there are no legal limitations for theme parks or any other businesses, but each theme park and business has different self-imposed limits. Also note that for Universal Orlando, you do not actually need to make reservations, but they can hit capacity. Disney and SeaWorld took the opposite approach and require reservations, but you're guaranteed to get in as long as you have the reservation. For other states, including California, the government is requiring reservations and implementing capacity limits, meaning that the entire process is out of the park's hands. I think that many of the parks will keep the reservation system, at least experimentally though, because it can more accurately gauge the business for the day-to-day operations, making decisions like labor and how many food and beverage options to open much easier. Oh, and by the way, if you actually have COVID, obviously cancel your reservation and don't go. Or if you have the flu or anything else spreadable to anyone else, cancel. Honestly, Britt, not a bad question. Now you know why. Jessica Trong asks a couple of questions that I'm going to combine. She asks, are Busch Gardens tickets worth the price? And how does Busch Gardens compare to King's Dominion? So I'm assuming she's asking about Williamsburg and the Virginia park for both questions. I grew up going to these parks and have been to both several times, though admittedly it's been a while. I'll start by comparing the 2 parks. Especially in the last couple of years, the roller coaster collection at Busch Gardens has gotten so much better while King's Dominion is on the decline. Busch Gardens has 8 coasters with 1 more built and should open soon called Pantheon. They have a great B&M collection, a couple of really cool launch coasters, including one that's themed and mostly indoor, really cool ride for Bolton, and several rides the whole family can ride. King's Dominion technically has more coasters, but after accounting for the 3 kiddie coasters, it's about the same. The standout coasters at King's Dominion are Intimidator 305, Dominator, and Twisted Timbers, plus they have a couple of older launch coasters and one of the few remaining mock bobsled coasters. For the coasters, I'll give the edge to Busch Gardens, mostly because most of the rides are so much newer and a little more extreme. Atmosphere, though, is a clear win for Busch Gardens. Busch Gardens Williamsburg is split up into several different themed areas, themed to European countries. They constantly win Most Beautiful Park, and deservedly so. Busch Gardens also has a couple of dark rides and tons of shows, including Celtic Fire, one of the better shows I've seen at any theme park. Also, the food at the Busch Gardens parks is a step above other theme parks, especially the smokehouse in New France where they have smoked ribs and brisket. The one downside is that tickets to Busch Gardens are a little more than a day pass to King's Dominion, but not really by that much. So to answer Jessica's question, yes, Busch Gardens tickets are definitely worth the price, and I think despite being a little more expensive than other Virginia parks, they provide more value for the money. Shreya wants to know, how many parks does Universal Studios have? Universal has Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure in Orlando, as well as the Volcano Bay Water Park. Then there are Universal Studios Singapore and Japan, and they just opened Universal Beijing for soft openings this month. Universal is also opening Epic Universe in Orlando, estimated to open in 2025. And they actually, I learned this, they used to have Universal Mediterranea, which is now PortAventura and is no longer owned by Universal. That's in Spain. So currently they own and operate 6 theme parks globally and 1 water park. Sarah asks, which U.S. state has the oldest theme park? This one may surprise you, but it's actually Connecticut. Lake Compounce in Bristol has been continuously operating since 1846, more than 170 years. Their oldest coaster is still operating is called Wildcat, and it's been open since 1927. Come back next Wednesday as I show the 10 oldest coasters I've been on. No, I haven't been to Lake Compounce yet. And also, watch my top 50 plus coasters broken down into 2 parts here. Now that you're in the loop, be sure to tell others about these videos I post almost every Monday, and about my other videos on Wednesdays and Fridays. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates on the parks. Thanks for watching In the Loop, Corbin's Coasters and more.